Hey, it's Chris, and this video is sponsored by Omen. Now, this is not really a review. It's more like me talking about this laptop, telling you how much fun I'm about to have with it. All right, so the first thing I want to do is talk about some of the specs and features. Get that out of the way first. And by the way, when I took this out of the box, it really surprised me because not being into gaming laptops really, traditionally, I was expecting something huge and clunky and chunky. And when it came out of the box and I held it in my hands for the first time, I was like, whoa, this isn't some huge gargantuan enormous thing. It's actually like pretty slim compared to what I thought. I was surprised. I was like, this is more premium than I thought too. I was expecting some like really cheap plastic, but that's not at all what it was like. So let's talk about that 6-inch 1080p touchscreen that is your second screen mounted above the keyboard. And before we get any further, I just have to say, I looked at some other reviews like before I did this, and there was some lady who was saying that she had to like crane her neck to look down at the second screen just to see it. And it's like, that hasn't been my experience at all so far. I can actually see it just fine. It's a little reflective of the other screen, but it's like, no, it's not hard to see. So there's the Omen Command Center, and I'm gonna talk more about that in just a bit. But I love being able, immediately I noticed, to see my internet speeds, like right there. Are you kidding me? How am I gonna go back to another laptop and not have my internet speeds right there all the time? I love that. It's so cool also that the computer just treats that other screen like a second screen, like another monitor, so you can drag windows right down in there. They resize and fit. That's cool too. So like, what's the big deal? Like, why would you want this? Is it useful? All right, so Twitch, Discord, Spotify, if you wanna listen to music while you're gaming and control it, for instance, and the HP Omen Command Center, like all that stuff lives down there. And yeah, it is useful. Plus, you can turn it into a number pad, which actually is useful. I would prefer using a number pad up there instead of like all the numbers across the top. It's beneficial for certain things. So on the website, I'm reading about this high performance main screen and the high performance audio, and it's supposed to be really immersive. And then I fire up Assassin's Creed, which I'm gonna show you in a little bit. And yes, it was very immersive, actually. I felt like I was there. In fact, this is cooler than like playing on the TV, like console, like I've been more used to, because you are closer to that screen. You do feel a little more immersive. But yeah, it wasn't like virtual reality, but it was very immersive. Like I could get lost in the game and feel like I was sort of there in Greece in the game. So long story short, Chris likes. So you can get up to a 9th generation Intel Core i9 processor with NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080 Max-Q graphics. So if you want, you can really crank up the settings. Now, a couple disclaimers. The NVIDIA Max-Q design, it can help reduce your system heat and noise and give you a thinner form factor, but the form factor design and the thickness of the system will vary. Also, the overall performance may be lower than alternative graphics solutions that don't utilize the Max-Q design. So you can achieve 1080p resolution with 144 Hz refresh rate. Bro, 144 Hz? That is unreal. That is so smooth. If you haven't experienced before, wow, you're in for something. And as part of the design, you have what Omen calls the micro bezel display. And that really applies more to the sides, which are somewhat thinner. You should also know / realize that full HD or FHD content is required if you want to view FHD images. You should also know that all the specs that I'm mentioning and talking about here represent typical specs from component manufacturers that provide their components to Omen. So the actual performance may vary a little bit. I mentioned the nice thin design for a gaming laptop, but there's some other cool features packed inside as well, like Omen Tempest cooling technology, the customizable RGB lighting, and single panel access to internals. Can I just say, I really love RGB lights, right? I feel like I've been missing out on that a little bit over the last several years. And I know it's very typical for gaming machines to have lights like this that you can customize and stuff, but I'm having a blast customizing the logo on the front and the keyboard. This is really fun for me. Okay, so let's talk about that Omen Command Center because it really does do some cool stuff. Like for instance, there's a vitals screen and it shows you the CPU, the GPU, and the memory utilization. And that is so cool to have just right in front of your eyes. It looks good too. I also like being able to pull up the screen that lets me tweak the performance on the fly. So you can do comfort, you can do default or performance. And let's be honest, like this is a gaming laptop. I'm gonna have it set on performance. Like turn up the heat, turn up the fans, let's go. There's also a coaching feature, which is pretty cool. So like if you're a League of Legends player and you wanna be more competitive, then you can have it analyze your gameplay and tell you about your strengths and weaknesses and how you can improve. You can also find some rewards down there. So it can present you with challenges and there's prizes that you can compete for, and it's just a little bit more engaging than maybe just a typical gaming experience. Another feature that I'm finding very cool is the fact that there's a launcher which will let you consolidate all the games on your machine into one library. Because already it's annoying to have like the Epic launcher, Origin, Ubisoft, whatever, and to have to do those separately. But to have everything in one place, that is much, much more useful. And finally, there's an awareness feature, which is gonna help you monitor how much time you spent gaming, which can be a problem for some people, right? So if you wanna game more responsibly, let's say, this could be a really good feature for you. So let me just mention portability in relation to this Omen, because that's sort of the whole point of a laptop, gaming or otherwise. You gotta be portable, and it's something that appeals to me as somebody who's been more traditionally a console gamer and stuck in front of a TV. So it's like, if I wanna play a game at my desk, I can do that. If down on the kitchen table, I can do that. Or down in the studio, I can do that. Or hey, if I'm going to the family reunion, I can bring it with me, and you know I would. And this goes back to when I was unboxing it and I was like, wow, this isn't as huge or giant as I thought. Not to diminish the screen size or anything, because it's a great screen size. It's just that I thought the case or the body was gonna be so much bigger than it actually was. Now let me just mention a couple reasons why a lot of people think PC gaming is actually better than console gaming at this stage. Now, in particular, with this Omen gaming PC, you have all the features we've already mentioned, plus that dual screen, and that's cool. But more generally, you also get better graphics than consoles if you have a powerful gaming PC like this. And here's a big one, there's just more games for the PC than there are for consoles. And the last thing I want to mention here is that you can also choose how you want to play, whether that's with a keyboard and a mouse or with an actual handheld game controller. Let me just also mention really quick, like the non-gaming aspect of this computer, because yeah, it's built for gaming, but let's say you're a gamer who wants to run a business too. Maybe you're gonna do some streaming. You wanna get into the YouTube game, right? Or maybe you're a business person, but you really wanna be into gaming in your free time. Like, I could see those kind of people having some crossover appeal with this particular laptop, because I'll tell you what, that typing experience, yeah, it's probably optimized for gaming, but it doesn't feel too bad to type on. Like, I can sit here and do some serious typing with these keys, no joke. And honestly, just to have that second screen for like some productivity, or even just listening to music while you're working, whatever, that's pretty cool. Not to mention to be able to use that number pad like I'm talking about, because I do a lot of number crunching and stuff. I'm always looking at my data for the YouTube channel and like crunching the numbers. So yeah, it is for gaming, this laptop, and it's good at that. But you know what? There's some crossover potential for business stuff or schoolwork too. All right, so let's get to a little gameplay demo, just like show you what it looks like, even though I know it's kind of hard to show the actual experience through a monitor, right, or screen. But even so, the first few games that I downloaded were number 1, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I like big open worlds to explore and check out. And number 2 was Fortnite, because believe it or not, I'm amazing at Fortnite on mobile. I'm sure I'm gonna get owned as I start learning how to play it on the PC. And number 3, Battlefront 2, because you better believe I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I love this on the console. And I know some people had big problems with it. I know it's improved a lot. So checking out some of that DLC and whatever, yes. So, wrapping things up, me, Chris, the non-traditional PC gamer, what do I think about this? Am I stoked or disappointed or what? I'm not disappointed. I had a lot of fun already making this video. Like, just making the video, playing the game. Sometimes it's hard to be a YouTuber, right? Playing video games for a living, it's hard, but somebody's gotta do it. But honestly though, I have really been enjoying the portability factor of being able to game in style, with power, with all these different features and a second screen wherever I want. And it's been smooth, it's been fun, and so it's opened up a whole new world of possibilities. you can believe I'm gonna connect this up to my giant 49-inch monitor soon as I can. Let me know if you wanna see more coverage of what that looks like. But yeah, hit me with your questions down in the comments. I'll try to answer those for the first several days that this video's up, and maybe the community can as well. Don't forget, you can follow @DailyTech, spelled Daily Tekk, on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.